this is not going to be your standard video that is going to be a part of this launch. Today is Tuesday, the 28th of January, when I record this. This is the day that Trump signed the executive order that is basically gutting access to care for so many transgender youth. And I just have emotions about it. And so I'm going to tell you. This isn't going to have a lot of editing. This isn't going to be a very polished video. This is just going to be raw, and it's going to be real. And I want you to know that. I guess see it as a preview of how I'll be as a streamer. I was going to make a video talking about kind of Trump Day 1 and how President stuff is affecting trans people, and I might get to that today. I might actually get to the point where, like, that is a thing that I'll talk about, or at least touch on. But I'm just pissed. Frankly, I'm pissed that no matter what professional organizations do to try and support trans youth, we tried so hard to educate them, to do what is needed to do to dispel all of the concerns that I know some people out there have genuine, actual concerns about gender-affirming care. They don't know what it is, it's scary, and right-wing politicians are ultimately playing on that fear. And we have tried so hard to do something about it. I have tried so hard to do something about it. And it's just falling on deaf ears. In this new executive order, Trump literally says that the WPATH, the World Transgender Association, or the World Association for Transgender Health, got that this time, is basically junk. It's bunk. No matter what we do to try to, like, show it, they aren't going to. But we already knew this. We knew this when the Cass report happened. We knew this when all of the things happened, when they were trying to justify what they did in the UK, and also throughout all of the bills over the last, 4 to 5 years. We knew this. This is just the culmination of all of that BS coming right at trans youth all over the country. And it sucks. It sucks that doctors are going to be scared now because of this executive order to provide the care that youth needs. And I am so proud of every one of my medical colleagues on that side of the house when it comes to gender-affirming care that are going to continue to do it anyway. I am so proud of them for what they're going to do in the eventual, if it goes the way that it's going to on paper go, an attack, a legal battle. But that isn't even going to probably happen, and that's why I'm pissed that all of these emotions and all these kids are scared, and some kids may literally freaking die because of this order, when it isn't even going to necessarily be what it's going to be. This is part of shock doctrine. It's part of shock and awe, make us feel like we can't do anything about this administration. That's what this is about. They're trying to scare us with the speed of everything that they're passing to make us not fight back, not show the truth, think that it is an inevitability that trans youth will be persecuted and that trans adults are next. That is not the truth. But it feels like it, and that's the problem. They are making us think that it is. It is an emotional manipulation, and that is not right. It isn't right. It it's it's terrible. And that's why I'm so angry about this, and that's why you're getting this raw video. Because executive orders are wishes. But it isn't a wish to the trans youth that thinks that they can't live in this world anymore. That's what is why I am like this. I know so many youth that are like, well, I might as well pack it in, but no, don't. You are being manipulated. You are being hurt. You are being abused by your government. That is ultimately what is happening, because we know that most of this will get fought. It will get thrown out, just like the gender marker things in the previous Trump administration didn't actually come to pass. That happened because of legal stuff. It isn't over, but they want you to think it's over, and screw them, frankly. That's what this is about. They don't deserve you being upset, and I'm so sorry that they're doing it to you. It is completely unacceptable. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. At least until it is stayed by a court, there are going to be lots of doctors that will not be able to provide gender-affirming care because of the fact that the executive order is withholding Medicare and Medicaid funding and other forms of federal funding that hospitals and large doctor clinics rely on. That is a silencing effect. That's why it's terrible, frankly. Because the way that these bills go, in the way that like it's just like the restrictions and exceptions for limiting abortion access. Doctors have to err on the side of being legally safe than providing care. That's what is the rub here, and why this, if passed, or even if not passed, even if it stayed, maybe there's some doctors that don't provide gender-affirming medical care to trans youth because of it. That's why this is so bad. Also, and what is kind of scary, but again, probably fine, a lot of the bill doesn't have age limitations on it for some of the things it says, with limiting care and limiting it, like the investigations that they're doing on, or encouraging investigations, I should say, on like medical providers and things of this nature, like doing the genital mutilation stuff. That section of that executive order that came out today didn't have an age on it. It's a chilling effect. They want you to comply in advance. That's what this is about, and that's why this is scary. Regarding the other trans stuff, we sadly have experienced a military ban already. We know what to expect. It's going to suck. And let us hope that transgender service members who are veterans will still have access to their care, even if their children will not, due to a recent legislation that I don't recall the name of in this moment, or the new executive order. Those are the things that, like, is going to impact a lot of trans people who are not currently in the military, and those in the military will be discharged. And that is very sad. But again, they're trying to demoralize you by having all of these events be one after another, after another, after another, and encouraging misinformation. Because, like, if we go to the, like, passport gender marker stuff, it isn't policy to reject passports that currently exist. It is not retroactive, but you will have individual border agents that will be dicks to people with X gender markers, maybe causing hassles, and that spreads on social media like wildfire. making individual events into bigger events than they are because people are scared. Do not be scared. Do not spread things just because you have your nervous system being in activation. Be smart. When you spread stuff, like if you want to talk about when, like, you know, some people say, oh, we might as well end it LOL meme. No. There are trans youth that see you post. Be smart with what you spread. Make sure it's verified. Do the best that you can. Do not get people worried over things that might be unnecessarily done. The gender marker stuff, by the way, that isn't even set in stone yet. There's a chance that with the court fighting it, that maybe it goes back to the old rules temporarily. Do pay attention. Don't give up hope if you hadn't gotten your name change in time because there was a backlog, because every trans person and their mother who hadn't done it in your area petitioned the court for one after the election. There still might be a chance that you can still get it, depending. And if you get rejected, and it's technically the policy that it shouldn't be rejected because of a court stay, just apply again. Because maybe you just got an asshole clerk that just decided to reject you, even though it wasn't the rules. Be resourceful. Listen to other trans people in your area that have gone through things. I cannot tell you things about your individual locale, but they can. Solidarity will get us through this the best that we can. As long as we do not feel alone, we will survive. The impact of the federal government ultimately is scary, but limited, with a caveat on some stuff I'm going to talk about in a moment. It will not affect you as much as your state. Get to a safe place if you have the privilege, and if you don't, build people around you where you have a shell of safety, because that's where you mostly live your life. Obviously, that won't be your everything. You'll have to go to work. You'll have to interact with the world outside of your shell of safety. But it doesn't mean that you can't still have something good. Some old guy with a beard said that, you know, how we make change is we live the world we want to live in the shell of the old. And that is what queer communities have been doing for as long as we've existed. We've been building chosen families. We've been having ballroom culture. We've been having community centers. We've been having activism and solidarity and get-togethers. That is how we survived. Not everyone survived. I know that is survivor bias. I get that. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do things that are good for you just because other people won't make it. Take care of yourself. There's a reason why I picked this relaxing world while I recorded this, because oceans are my happy place. Take small bits of joy that you can in times like this. It's the only way we will get through. And eventually it will slow down. And then slowly but surely, as the legal battles are fought, or at least at a minimum stayed temporarily, we will find some solace. But that's going to be a slow, gradual process. We're in the shock and awe moment right now. Keep that in mind. As a gender-affirming therapist, there is some things I want to talk about that you might not realize about, particularly the access to care, but also the gender marker stuff. I have known people whose gender dysphoria is so bad that just having the wrong gender marker on their identification feels like almost like a pink triangle or like some other like marker that really, really like messes with their gender dysphoria. And if you don't know what that is, watch one of my other videos. I define it there. But this will cause pain just from that. Hell, some people maybe will do things that are unfortunate because of just that. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't live. You shouldn't take care of yourself just because others are in pain. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first. I really, really want you to keep that in mind while we're going through what we're going through right now. It is really, really, really important for you to keep that in mind. But like I said, I don't think people would think about that necessarily, just from a gender marker, how that can be devastating. Obviously, access to care is something that can cause effects on anyone, particularly a youth whose identity is developing. There is negative effects for losing access to your current hormone regimen, mental health wise, physical wise, etc. Like you're in puberty and then you're changing it. Like if there's no suppression, then like the other puberty might start activating if they were that young and they went through that process, blah, blah, blah. This could cause lifelong effects if access to care is limited. And it might negatively impact the rest of people's lives if it goes that way. And I really, really hope it doesn't. I do not want to be alarmist, but I want to let you know, I want to put that out there because you might not know. Maybe you want to send this to a family member that voted for Trump and didn't realize that, you know, it could literally ruin the rest of some child's life. They won't necessarily see it that way, but at least you'll know. It's terrible, but we will persevere. We will do what we can. There's this like joke that, you know, the trans community throws around the same $20 in a circle, but we'll do that if we need to. I really hope that you can help people in your circles if you are fortunate that are less fortunate right now. Donate to organizations that are fighting this. The ACLU, Lambda Legal, the Campaign for Southern Equality has I've raised money for them before. They actually have funds that they give direct to people to help with this kind of stuff and making sure care isn't interrupted. It is very, very important. If you have that, please give. I was going to make a video where I was going to go through the news article stuff, like little bit by little bit by little bit, and like go through about how all of it's BS and how all of it, like, you know, will be challenged and we will fight. But I realized we don't need that right now. We don't need that right now. We need to know that what we can do now, and that's take care of one another. Join together, join to communities. It doesn't have to be mine, but create it. When you are in adversity, in my opinion, the thing that you can do is creation. Like, I want to get a tattoo eventually on my arm that says that quote from Rant, that the opposite of war is not peace, but creation. Because that is how we win. We create. We take care of each other. Thank you so much. Do the YouTube things. Like, subscribe, BS. It's not BS, but this video's serious. Thanks. I'll see y'all next time. Don't give up. Bye.